state budget is about to be a full month late. All sides say they're making progress, but there's no agreement yet. They have also been saying that it's not a big deal if it's a little bit late and that nearly no one is impacted. But there are a few folks that beg to differ. Dennis Owens joins us now with that part of the story. Good afternoon, Dennis.
Good afternoon, Hugh. James, I spoke with one today. So that assertion is mostly right. If a spending plan isn't agreed to for a few weeks beyond the June 30th deadline, no harm, no foul for most of the folks who rely on the Commonwealth's cash. Most, but not all. At financially struggling school districts like Steelton High Spire, the financial situation is dire. They, unlike many school districts, do not have a cash reserve to fall back on in the event of a state budget standoff. Steel High is in state recovery, which it hopes will help get it back on solid financial footing. But it had to take an $8 million loan with interest to pay for operating costs and the expenses that come with preparing for the next school year. The Steel High superintendent has this message for budget negotiators at the Capitol.
The message to lawmakers is simple. Treat the state budget as if it was impacting your own kids. And if it's going to impact your own kids negatively, then it's time to step up and do something.
Most everybody would agree it's time to step up and do something, but the bad news for schools like Steelton is that a month late and there's still no end in sight to that budget stalemate in Harrisburg. And James, every year for the past 10 years, we should note, school districts have gotten more money the next year than they did the past year from the state. So we know money is coming to Steel High. It's just not yet, and they don't let you pay your bills on, hey, the money's coming in a couple of weeks, so they had to take that loan.
Yeah, I mean, they're similar to the rest of us in that way. Yeah. When we're talking about, this budget stalemate, are things happening right now at
So I just talked
Capitol?
to Jesse Topper. We'll have more on that. He's the House Republican leader. More with him later in our reporting later today. He says progress is being made, but it is slow. They are still not agreeing. There's a major philosophical difference as to how much we should spend, and the Republicans' concern is you spend what you want to spend, and in 3 years we're having to raise taxes and we're running an even bigger structural deficit. Right now, we spend more than we take in year to year. Now we have that extra money. They had the reserve and the rainy day fund that they could dip into. How much dipping are we going to do? That seems to be one of the big fights at the Capitol.
It's always amazing to me, this budget deadline is the same every year, and yet.
I asked the very question. I said to Jesse Topper, I said, is there anything we're doing this year that we could say, okay, next year, let's start a month earlier so that we're not in this same position that we feel like we're in every year? And he said, well, March just doesn't have the intensity, or April doesn't have the intensity that looming June 30th deadline has.
Yeah.
But we're now a month. Friday will be a month.
Yeah, exactly. So. Wow. Dennis?
Yeah.
Always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
It keeps us employed, James. That's the good news.
That is also true. Thank you very much, Dennis.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27, and we're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the homepage, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.